Thank you, Lee. Yes, indeed, we are talking about something that we all know and love, bread. And it goes back quite far in history. The ancient Egyptians learned the art of bread making by trial and error. Can you believe it? Yet, were able to produce more than 50 varieties of bread in primitive ovens. And that was, of course, according to Heinrich E. He's the author of 6,000 Years of Bread. Now, bread can be a component of a healthy diet if you can make the right choices when it comes to the different varieties of bread. So we called in Andrea this morning to help us make those wise choices. Andrea, good morning. Welcome to Expresso once again. Always nice. So bread, we all know it. We all love it. We probably eat it on a daily basis. But let's get down to the good, the bad, and the ugly of bread. How healthy is it? Is it bad for you? What would you say?
Well, some people seem to think that bread is really evil. They think maybe
evil.
It's fattening and it's unhealthy, etc. But it all depends on your own body, your own health status, and maybe food sensitivities and allergies, and also the type of bread and what you do with the bread.
All right.
So I'm quite convinced
that
the
amounts of bread.
Oh yes, that's also quite true. Yes.
Because I know it's something. It's nice. It's nice coming home after a long day, and then this is what there is. There's bread at home.
Yes, it's comfort
have a nibble,
food.
You know, it's
absolutely.
Food.
Yes.
Exactly. So you say we need to make wise choices when it comes to the different varieties of bread. Okay.
That's
so there's quite a couple of different varieties on the market. You've got a couple here for us as well. Just talk us through what do we have here.
Well, if you look at healthy bread,
yes.
We've got a variety here. So white bread, some that are sweetened even, and then you get the whole grain varieties, brown or whole wheat, and then also rye bread and the very dark rye.
Okay.
So obviously the higher...
This is a very dark rye. I've never actually seen that.
So the higher the fiber content, the less refined it is, obviously, and the higher the nutritional content. So it's always better to go for the high fiber varieties. But some people are sensitive to wheat.
Yes, I'm one of those people.
Yes.
I'm sensitive. I limit my bread and also pasta intake. And I remember I was telling you a story a little bit earlier. I was running quite a bit. I was eating a lot of bread and a lot of pasta. But then I stopped doing that for a while, and I just, I just unbloated, if you can call it like that.
Well, if you're sensitive to wheat, and there's also gluten and also the wheat fibers in bread, it can cause bloatedness. And in that case, then most people respond better to rye bread.
Okay.
So,
because it's wheat-free.
It's wheat-free. Yes. But then there are people that are highly sensitive to gluten. Now, for them, they need to focus on products that are gluten-free. And if you look at the grains, wheat contains gluten. Rye also contains a small amount of gluten. So the grains that are absolutely gluten-free are rice, corn, and then there are a few others like amaranth, quinoa, etc.
All right.
And that's where you get the rice cakes, the corn cakes, and these multigrain cakes that are wheat-free and gluten-free. And you can also, from certain health shops, buy the gluten-free flours to make your own wheat-free and gluten-free bread. But if you're not sensitive to wheat and you're not sensitive to gluten, like I'm very lucky to be one of those people, there's nothing wrong with a healthy sandwich.
Okay, so this is your healthy sandwich. So this is something, like we've mentioned, the bread we eat but almost on an everyday basis.
Yes.
This is something that you can eat on an everyday basis.
Yes, like I said, if you're wheat sensitive, then obviously go for a wheat-free alternative. But what I want to show you here also, it's not about the type of bread only, but also what you do with it. So a toasted sandwich that's drenched in oil and lots of melted cheese is not the healthiest thing.
Although nice, once in a while. Once in a while,
yes.
A long while?
I think once a year would be fine.
Okay.
But well, that depends. If you have high cholesterol, if you're watching your weight, a toasted sandwich typically is not the healthiest thing.
Yes,
I think we can show how to make a healthy snack wedge or a healthy toasted sandwich on the show. Yes. We'll definitely do that because in winter,
a good idea, actually,
that is absolutely delicious. But
healthy comfort food.
It's probably better to have the fresh bread with lots of salad, and you can put chicken, cheese, etc. on a healthy sandwich.
All right, and of course the rice cakes, like you've mentioned, is a good idea just to snack on.
Yes.
All right, perfect.
And another thing I forgot to mention is if you look at the white flours, they often also bleach them. So there's lots of criticism against processed foods. If you start off with wheat grains, obviously they are rich in nutrients and rich in fiber. So if you make that into whole grain fiber, that's still already processed, but you can't just eat the wheat grains like that.
Yes.
But the unhealthy components come in when it's really refined, and the white flour is not the healthiest form of wheat.
Wow,
yes.
so big discussion all about bread this morning, Andrea. Thank you so much, and I hope that you guys at home got some tips and will be able to make those right decisions when it comes to healthy breads, because let's face it, bread is healthy. We love it. It can be healthy. It can form a healthy part of our diet. Thank you so much, Andrea. Remember, you can ask those questions on her Facebook page, Andrea du Plessis, Vital Expert. Right now, though, it is over to the boys, because a huge gaming, I can say epic gaming event took place in South Africa recently. They've got more.
For 30 Rand a year, you can subscribe to the Vitalize magazine and receive nutritional advice, fitness tips, and amazing recipes. Visit vital.co.za today.